So yeah, my question is, when I started analyzing Tampa, it was like a year ago. I've come up with my criterias, and I was looking at some specific properties and my search criteria, right? And at that time, I saw properties that were making like 5-7 percent return cash on cash. But today they're like all gone. We know like there is no inventory, and the prices did skyrocket. And my question is, I still want to, invest in Tampa, but I don't want to buy, just to have something. I still want to have my cash on cash return. Maybe that's something I need to adjust my search criteria. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong properties. Like in terms of neighborhoods, I'm pretty open around the area, but like, what am I doing wrong?
I think to a very large extent, you and many other investors are in a similar boat. I don't necessarily think you're doing anything wrong. As I mentioned earlier, it's a really tough seller's market right now. So on the one hand, you're probably not doing anything wrong. On the other hand, that doesn't mean it's impossible to find a deal. You just have to keep looking, keep grinding, and keep working with us as a team, and we'll find you something. I do think the target metrics are getting somewhat harder to hit. We used to all look for the 1% rule in terms of rent to purchase price. Years ago, they were even talking about the 2% rule, and what I mean by that is if a house is $100,000, you want it to rent for at least $1,000 a month. That's a very short, quick litmus test to figure out if this is going to pencil out and make sense as a rental property. And so if it doesn't hit the 1% rule, then you have to, you either discard it or you take a really, harder, closer look at the numbers before moving forward. I will tell you the 1% rule is getting harder and harder, and we may have to start talking about the 0.75% rule if this continues. And some of it is an adjustment to this new reality, and some of it is, there's a balancing act between stick to your guns and look for the numbers that you want. But in some cases, that may mean never buying anything, and there's a downside risk to that as well. And then on the other hand, you can maybe adjust some of those metrics that you're targeting and end up with some properties that are still cash flow positive, but are also appreciating at a substantial clip. And a couple of years down the road, rarely does anybody look back and say, "Oh, I wish I hadn't have bought that property." It's 90% of the time it's the opposite. You look back and think, "Why didn't I buy that place 5 or 10 years ago?" And I think to a large extent, a lot of us will still be doing that a few years from now.